righty. Here we are. Everybody should be joining us. I see them coming in. Hello, everyone. We are here with Ronnie or Rani? How do you say it? Is it Ronnie?
Rani.
Ronnie.
Rani.
Ronnie Virdee.
Virdee.
Virdee. All right, Ronnie Virdee. We got you now. All right, everybody's joining. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We'll give it a couple minutes and let everybody join. So, Ronnie, say hello so everybody sees you.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here again.
Awesome. This is our first video call with Ronnie. How cool is that? That's so exciting. I love that. It's just, you know what? I just love how quickly you connect with somebody. Like as soon as I saw you, it was such a different connection than
Yeah.
just talking on the phone, you know? I just absolutely love that. It's my favorite thing about it. All right. Hello, everyone. You guys know the drill. We got Show in here. Krista, hello. Ursula from Germany, hello. Daniel is here. Hello, Beth. Marita from Sweden, Lorraine from UK, Deb from California, Carmen, New Mexico, Mary, Nebraska. Hello, everyone. We got Canada, India. Wow, lots of Canadians. Belgium. All right, Florida. Awesome. So happy to have you all here for the first official The Life Reawaken Show. So we are officially upgraded. I like to say upgraded. We are officially upgraded to Life Reawaken. So excited to be on this journey with you guys for the next 3 months. We have calls happening Monday through Thursday, live calls. Really special stuff lined up for you guys for the next several months. So excited to have you here, and honored to share this space with all of you. And Ronnie, we are kicking it off with you today. So exciting. Awesome. We got Pakistan here too. Bethlehem, Susan, and Bob. Welcome. So today, guys, we got a really powerful call with Ronnie scheduled. She's going to work one-on-one with a lot of you. So if you want to hit the reaction button, you can raise your hand and get in line for that. As well as give us some feedback as we're going through the show. Hearts are great. Thanks for the heart. Type in, let us know how things are going, how you're feeling, give us feedback. So we know this is resonating with you, the information's resonating with you, or if you have questions, that as well. So officially, we are going to get things started here today with energy amplification, amplify your vitality, and step through the door towards optimal health and harmony today. So a lot of you have worked with Ronnie, but those of you that haven't seen her or don't know her, Ronnie is a registered nurse and medical intuitive. Her healing journey began 17 years ago when she had a near-death experience while on vacation in Singapore en route to Bali. She never made it to Bali, but ended up grounded in Singapore for 9 weeks, and that is where her journey towards total health and well-being began. What the doctors could not achieve during her first few weeks in the hospital to reverse the negative effects on her body, she was able to achieve with just a 7-minute routine that she was lucky enough to learn from a guru who happened to cross her path on the day she was released from the hospital. How about that for synchronicities? That's so cool. This led her on a healing adventure to India, where she worked under the guidance of several enlightened masters to restore her health, as well as adopt the techniques she was taught into her own habit. She has also received several attunements from these masters and other teachers that she has met on her journey, equipping her with an enhanced vehicle to be able to help others. Since 2007, she has trained in and continues to learn and practice several different healing modalities. She would consider herself a quantum alchemist because she has always intuitively led to create a custom treatment when working with individuals or groups. Her most powerful methods for working remotely with individuals and groups is through her activating tailor-made healing containers for her clients. I personally I've dubbed her the queen of healing containers. Today, Ronnie is introducing us with a new remote healing container based on the Energy Enhancement System. This healing container is programmed to deliver made-to-order healing to individuals based on your specific requirements. So officially, Rani, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's just amazing to be able to have eye contact with each other.
Just love it. I absolutely love it. So, before we dive in, I really we have a lot of new people here, so I would just love to go a little deeper on that healing journey that you were on between Bali and not Bali, but Singapore and India and all of that. So, tell us a little bit about that story.
Oh my gosh. Where did it start? Okay, so I was invited to Bali by a business client from when I was working in the UK, and it was like an all expenses paid for trip, stopping over in Singapore en route. And I, being a nurse, should have known better, but I didn't get any of the typical signs and symptoms of an extensive pulmonary embolism, which basically meant that I had both my legs and my lungs were full of blood clots. And the only symptom I had was extreme thirst when I was outside. Singapore's quite a humid country. And after about 3 days of kind of getting this excessive thirst, I decided, oh my gosh, tomorrow morning I'm on that flight to Bali. I better, if I get this feeling again, I think I'll just go to the local hospital and have a quick check over.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happened. I was admitted as an emergency. The doctor who attended to me was British, actually, and she described to me after the event how obstinate I was and how difficult I was as a patient, because I did not acknowledge anything I was told about my condition. But after the event, she said, you only had about 10 or 15 minutes left, Rani. Did you know that? I know. It's
Oh
like,
my goodness. So if you would have gotten on that plane, you wouldn't have made it.
I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it if I'd got on that plane. And the interesting thing is that because the blood clots were so extensive, I wasn't allowed to move about too much in case they shifted.
Yeah, great.
And so it took, I think I was in hospital for about 4 or 5 weeks, and there wasn't much happening to dissolve the clots. So I persuaded the doctors to at least let me check into the hotel, which was literally next door to the hospital, and that I would go in every day
Wow.
for my checkups. And basically, as I checked into the hotel, I just saw this newspaper which had the details of this guru who was doing a new yoga practice that day. So I went to that practice that evening, and it was literally just a 7-minute breathing technique. They taught us like 2 or 3 minutes of it each day, and we practiced it. So when I got home from back to the hotel that evening, I practiced what I'd learned. And the following day, I had my cardiology appointment to check my heart, because my heart had enlarged so much. And
Wow.
the cardiologist said, well, what have you been doing? What happened? And I said, I'll show you. I just showed him what I did. And he said, just keep doing it, because your heart has already started reducing in size. Within a week, Gretchen, my
Wow.
heart was back to normal.
Wow. And you were in the hospital for how long? 4 weeks, right?
About 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, yeah.
Crazy.
And so this guru saved my life. But
That's
it was
amazing.
interesting. It was just yoga technique requiring different breathing positions and different physical asanas. And oh my gosh, it was so, so powerful. I was amazed,
That's
absolutely amazed. Yeah. And so,
wonderful.
yeah, 9 weeks on the ground and I came back home.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And it just totally shifted your journey on this planet, right? Like
Well,
completely.
you know what they say, that you don't go to your guru comes to you when the time is right. And
Yeah,
that really rang true for me.
no
So
kidding.
I spent a good 3 or 4 months traveling through India, then learning from different masters. And yeah, it completely changed my outlook on life. I just changed,
Yeah.
transformed.
Amazing.
And
Absolutely.
it's been an amazing learning journey, and it continues because every
Yeah,
day I learn something new.
that's amazing. How has it changed your work as a nurse?
I actually resigned from clinical nursing
Uh,
about 2 years into the COVID
Okay. Okay.
issues,
Uh,
because I just could not see
yeah.
any kind of progress happening. I mean,
Yeah.
I still work using my nursing background, but
Yeah.
I now work as a disability assessor, which is my day job. And
Interesting.
that's interesting because I'm seeing more and more casualties of what's gone on over the last 3 or 4 years who are now claiming disability for various disorders.
Yeah.
And, I sit there and I think, I wish I could put my healing hat on today and just transform you, because I could do it in moments.
Oh,
It's
wow.
and so it's a bit of a dichotomy. I find it quite a challenging role to be playing, but more and more it's just waking me up to the fact that, medicine's not going to have all the answers. We really need to be using a completely holistic approach,
Yeah.
and looking at every aspect of the person, and everyone's an individual. One size does not fit all. One tablet's not going to cure everybody. If you've
Yep.
got a headache, it might, you might take an Advil. For one person it'll work, and for another it won't. So we have to understand the root cause of disease,
Yeah.
which actually brings us very, this is what I'd like to talk about, is, the
Yeah.
origin of disease. Where does it begin, and how we can actually do something to help ourselves, in every moment. I'd like to be able to at least impart some simple tools to the audience today that will help them to take care of themselves better,
Awesome.
in the
Love that.
moment.
I
Yeah.
love it. So let's talk about that, the root cause of disease and how
Mm.
it affects each of us, in unique ways, right?
Right, right. Shall I share my screen just to help people focus on what I'm talking about?
Sure, I
Would
think
that
that was
help?
great. And also, before we do that, because I know you're
Mhm.
going to be talking about the energy enhancement system, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
we want to put a poll up, poll, Poll,
Okay.
um, because I would like to know who knows about the energy enhancement system, who knows what this is. So if you guys could answer yes, no, just so Ronnie has an idea on that, because it is gaining popularity, but I just kind of wanted to get clear. Okay, awesome. So most of our audience does not know. Um,
Wow. That
about
surprises me.
Yeah, so 92% does not know. So, okay,
Wow. Okay.
stop that poll now and share results so everybody can see that. But yes, Ronnie, I figured that would, as you were talking, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a quick poll just so it gives you an idea of where we stand.
Okay.
So
Okay.
awesome. And yes, so now you can share your screen and
Okay.
we can look at your slides.
Okie dokie. Let me just. Um, can you see that?
It's coming. Yeah. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. So everything I say, it's only a short slide deck. There's only 4 slides, but everything that I say here is basically alluding to what I've created as the energy amplification healing container. I'm going to call it the EA container just for short, for short. And it's aligned with everything that the energy enhancement system is delivering globally now. So I will talk about that as well. But before I start, I just wanted to revise and just remind everybody about where disease really begins. And this is something that I have witnessed personally myself, in terms of all the health challenges that I've had through my life. And I think once people understand the basics of this slide, you'll be able to actually even diagnose where your condition started from, and at which point in life. And when we do the mini healings, that will become even clearer. So just to help people focus. I've just put up this very simple diagram of our auric layers, all our energy bodies, which exist in different realms. So we've got the physical body in the middle there, and then the 7 layers, which align with the 7 chakras as well. So the layer that I want to focus on today is the 7th layer, which aligns with the crown chakra. It's also known as the catheric or the causal body. Okay. It's that part, it's your mental level in the spiritual plane. And it basically is housing all the other energy bodies as well. This layer, your causal body, is vibrating at such a high speed, such a high frequency, that at its very pinnacle, when it's completely balanced, it's at 0 point, at still point. Some people will call it the God energy. There are many, many terms to describe this. But basically, when you're at still point, your body is in the optimum environment to heal itself. You're at peace. You have no critical thoughts one way or the other, and your body is free to heal itself. Now, think about when you cut your finger or sustain a minor injury. You don't have to do anything to heal that. You might clean it and keep it covered, but your body knows how to heal that, because the body knows how to reach that point in its frequency to deliver the right chemical reactions to create healing, closing the wound, stopping the bleeding, etc., etc. I don't want to go into terminology here, but a body knows how to heal itself at that level. And actually,
I love that you give that description, because that makes it so simple, right? Like, it's something we do all the time. Like, it happens all the time. And it makes it so, because I know sometimes it can feel unbelievable, right? That we can heal these big things that are going on in our body, in our life, all of that. But that brings it down to make it very simple, at least for me, to understand and believe and be like, it does know exactly how to do that.
Healing is really that simple. I remember hearing a story some months back of a young mum, whose son, I think he was toddler age, was constantly having abdominal pain, stomachache, and would repeatedly ask for honey.
Oh, interesting.
And one day the mum actually listened to her son and bought him some honey and gave him some honey, and his tummy pains went away.
That's
What
amazing.
did I mean, that child, his higher self, knew what he needed.
Yep. And as a
Healing.
mom, you think, like, like, but how there's so many things to unpack there. Like, like listening, right? Listening
Yeah,
to yourself, listening to your body, listening to your child, like, there's just so many things to listen there, and just really, that was beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other example I'd like to just give here is, again, a child running around in the school playground, falls over, scratches himself, hurts himself, and bursts into tears. There's 2 ways of healing that wound. One is the mom will, will come and kiss it better, and make the child feel good
Oh,
about himself, and give love, and that healing can happen in a moment.
oh,
The
that's
other way would be to magnify that pain by setting a negative trigger.
mhm.
Another mum might say, "Oh, don't be so silly. Just come up, get up and brush yourself down. You'll be fine."
Don't be a
That poor
crybaby.
child, yeah,
Yeah.
the child will still have that emotional pain and hurt, which
Mm,
wasn't soothed away. So that becomes a cellular memory, which is going to rear its head again and again throughout that child's life, each time they experience that emotion again. Okay,
mm.
that emotion might be felt again in a boardroom meeting when, your manager says something to you that basically triggers that same emotion. So
Yeah.
a pain can either be healed at its root very quickly, or it can be allowed to magnify, amplify to a point where it becomes a big dis-ease in the system or a physical disease. So
Mm.
One of the things I'd also like to just point out here is that the causal body is the body where the main Kundalini force is running up and down in your body. And we're going to talk about this a bit later again. I'll be asking the audience to focus their attention on their spinal column. So this is what I'm going to be referring to. So moving on then, so when we've got disease beginning at this layer in the energy bodies, the first layer that's going to be affected is going to be that seventh layer, the causal body. And that's normally going to be through an emotional upset. That emotion will create an interruption in the energy of that layer. And gradually, if it's not healed there and then, it's going to, as that emotion repeats itself through life, the disruption of that energy body is going to start to take a journey through all the layers, one by one, until years and years later, it manifests as a physical dis-ease in the body. So that's how disease begins and then manifests itself. What you get diagnosed with today as, I don't know, a heart condition or a digestive disorder has its roots way back in the past. And that past is not just in this lifetime, it could go into ancestral lives as well, because this layer, this seventh layer, the causal layer, is basically reflecting everything that your soul has undergone through its journeys. So, you know, it's that deep, but the healing is also that simple if we can understand the origin of the disease. So whenever I work with anybody, I always like to look at the root cause of their issue. Because if we can get to that root cause and pull it out, then, you know, everything else will unfold and the healing will be allowed to take place by itself. Because I don't do any healing, neither does any doctor, neither does the Energy Enhancement System. All the healing is done by yourself and your body. We just facilitate it. So what I'd like to talk about next is the law of conservation. Can we get to, here we go, the next slide. So the law of conservation, which you've probably heard about from many different guests on the show, is about energy. Energy has no beginning and no end. It can never be created or destroyed. Where your focus or attention goes, that's where energy is going to flow. Okay, so energy having no beginning and no end implies infinity. Correct? Yeah. So when energy has no beginning and no end, it means that energy is flowing in all directions everywhere. And this slide is really just to illustrate that. Energy exists in a toroidal field, which you can see here. The top two pictures are showing you how energy is flowing around the human being. And here you've got a male and a female, and it's basically showing you how the toroidal field around each individual is flowing, and how, as you get closer and closer to each other, how it can basically interfere with each other or synchronize with each other, depending on how balanced or unbalanced the toroidal field is. And interestingly, this picture at the bottom shows you the toroidal fields of the planet at the bottom, our heart in the middle, which is an exact match to the Earth's toroidal field, and then the galactic heart as well. Now, just the little illustration next to the heart there on the left, you can see the toroidal field has shrunk, and it's basically representing fear. So this is what being in a state of fear will do to your torus, to your toroidal field. Okay, so we'll come back to the toroidal field shortly. The key thing to remember is that there are only 3 component parts to balance a toroidal field, and you only have to look at one of them to balance the other 2. Wow. So as human beings, We all have, we're made up of trillions and trillions of cells, and every cell in our body has an electrical charge. The charge is measured in measures of millivolts, and the optimum level to be at is 70 to 90 millivolts. If the electrical charge within our cells is within those parameters of 70 to 90 millivolts, we are going to experience good health. Once our electrical charge starts to diminish below 70 volts, that then opens up the doorways for dis-ease to set in. And incidentally, a cancer cell has an electrical charge which is below 20 millivolts.
Wow.
So instead of looking at dis-ease, we could look at another way of optimizing our health, which is to say, well, how can I keep the electrical charge of my cells between 70 to 90 millivolts?
Wow.
The second component is our pH, which is the hydrogen potential of the body. pH 7 is neutral. The pH scale goes from 1 to 9, and anything that is below pH 7 is going to be acidic. Now, disease will flourish in an acidic environment, whereas when you have an alkali pH to your system, you're going to experience health. So that's another you could look at balancing the pH of your body by eating the correct foods, avoiding stress, and that will also create a positive change in the system. And the third area is oxygen. So if your cells, if your body cells are repleted with good oxygen content, you're going to achieve high electrical charge and an alkali pH. If your body is depleted of oxygen, then again, the electrical charge is going to diminish, and so is the pH. It's going to start going towards the acidic scale, and that's opening up the gateway for dis-ease to set in. So those are the three areas where we could, if we put our focus on those, took away our attention from labels, different disease labels, be it anxiety, depression, or a physical dis-ease, if we can just correct these areas, we're going to experience good health. And good health, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually as well. Because if your body's working well, the engine's, running fine, then you're going to basically cruise at high speed.
That's so cool.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, but my question obviously is, none of us know these numbers. So how do we know where we stand with each of these, or if that makes sense?
As in, you wouldn't know how to measure them for yourself with your own system?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So the pH is quite an easy one to do. You can buy pH strips from local stores and literally test your saliva or your urine to find out whether your pH is acidic or alkali. And you can adjust your pH by adjusting your food intake. There are certain foods that are going to give you a more of an alkaline environment in your body system, and the acidic foods, other foods. So the main foods that are going to create an acidic environment are processed foods, sugars. Those are the two main causes, and certain types of dairy. So this is stuff we already know.
So for an acidic, for our body to, when it's more acidic, it's not like if you have too much vinegar or too much lemon, that doesn't make more acid.
No, in fact, lemon and acidic fruits are going to actually alkalize your body.
That's so interesting, isn't it?
whereas the sugars are going to create an acidic environment.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
And if it's helpful, I can send you through a list of acidic and alkali foods, which
it might be really useful to, I mean, especially with the people that join this program too, like, because I'm sure that there's when you're balancing all three of these, so oxygen levels,
Mm.
we can cut, I'm assuming we can tell by our lungs if we have, like, how do you tell
Yeah,
that?
oxygen levels with if we've got again, there's gadgets available today where you can measure your oxygen saturation, but oxygen levels isn't just about measuring your oxygen saturation. It's about, again, putting the right things into your system that are going to deliver oxygenated to oxygen to all the cells at the cellular level, and that's going to come through what you're putting into your system. For example, I personally tend to drink hydrogen. I can't say the word.
Hydrogen.
I use increasing the hydrogen ions in my water. So I'll drink spring water, but I've bought myself a gadget. I think it cost me about $15, whereby I can just pump extra hydrogen ions into the water that I'm drinking. So that means that water is being delivered to the critical areas of my system, namely the brain. And I've noticed a change just drinking it over a few hours. I've noticed that I'm thinking clearly. I've got a little bit more energy. And so, there's so much self-help about, actually, at very low cost, that we can do these little things for ourselves. Cut down on the soda water and the fizzy drinks, the sweet drinks, it is a lifestyle change that can create this type of positive balance in your system.
Very cool. Yes,
And
very cool.
so those are the three components of the toroidal field, this field here. So to create a perfectly balanced toroidal field, we need to satisfy these three areas: high electrical charge in our cells, the correct pH, which should be slightly alkaline, and good oxygenation. Now, the energy enhancement system and the energy amplification healing container that I've created satisfies those three components. I'm going to talk to you about the energy enhancement system now and how that achieves this balanced toroidal field.
Cool.
It uses 4 components, and it uses advanced technology to achieve this. It's made up of a black box and a computer screen through which, I don't know how they do it, but various things are fed. So the first thing it does, it creates the Schumann resonance of 7.83, which is akin to the heartbeat of the earth, and brings us into this natural state here. Yeah, the earth's heart. You see the torus here of the earth and the torus here of our heart. So the energy enhancement system is creating that resonance using their technology. The second thing the energy enhancement system does is transmit the Fibonacci sequence. Now, the Fibonacci sequence is a set of numbers which create a coherence by creating the toroidal field. And you see this in action in every aspect of life. Every organ in your body, every cell in your body works, sings music to this Fibonacci sequence. And the sequence is really simple. It's made up of the sum of the previous 2 numbers. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, and so on and so on. You see this present in nature in the way flowers display their petals, how trees show their branches. Go down to sea life and you'll see it in the shape of seashells. It also is the way the human embryo multiplies its cells and grows, okay? So it's the code of creation. And so the energy enhancement system is actually transmitting that sequence using technology. The third thing the energy enhancement system uses is light. So photons of light, which it's firing into the environment to create the toroidal field. Basically, it's charging the toroidal field with this 70 to 90 millivolts. So if you go to an energy enhancement system center and sit in the room where they've got the system set up, you're going to be sitting in that toroidal field. Okay. And also the screens on the energy enhancement system, they use special screens which also are firing wavelengths of color which align with the 7 chakra points. And that helps the various organs in the body to be at the specific optimal frequency for that organ. Now, did you know that you can also help to increase the health of your specific organs by eating the right color foods? Just for example, green foods for the heart, red foods for the root chakra, orange foods for the sacral chakra. Can you see how color can, so people will have heard about put a rainbow on your plate when you're eating, and you're basically going to be eating the right kind of energy to feed those organs.
It's really quite amazing. Like there's no accidents, right? When it comes to us and nature and just how everything is put together. So that's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask, so the energy enhancement system is a physical
It's
system.
a physical, yeah, it's made up of a cube. It's basically a black box with what looks like a computer screen in front of the black box. But there's obviously lots of technology that's being fed through that. And normally what you'll find is that the system is set up in a way so that all the these 4 components that I've just described here, as they're being emitted into the room, they are creating this toroidal field. Now that toroidal field is basically, remember I said right at the beginning in the first slide here, is creating the still point, the God frequency. So when you're in an environment, so this is being in the optimum environment, when you're in that optimum environment, you have created all the conditions for health to take place, for your body to heal itself. And so what I did a very deep study of how the system is put together, the energy enhancement system is put together. And then I created a healing container to basically replicate everything the energy enhancement system does.
Very cool. All right, I'm going to stop sharing the screen so we can see you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So that was really interesting, and I'm glad that you put that all together, for us, because it's how it all the pictures, especially with the how we're all in sync, right? Like the earth heart, our body, like that's just so fascinating. And as well as fear, what it does to us. That was a very impactful image as well. So thank you for that. So a couple questions have come in that I saw. Marion's asking, are you running the EE system right now for us? Because she can feel a very soothing, healing energy coming through.
Not yet, but
It's
we've
coming.
been talking about it. So it's coming. I told you right at the beginning, before the show started, I was feeling cold and shivery.
Yes.
I am now heated up to such a degree that I feel like I want to strip off. So I know the energy is flowing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
The energy is definitely flowing. I can feel it. And if I wasn't on screen, I would have started taking these layers off. But we are going to be working with it when I do the mini healing.
Awesome.
And when we do the group session, we will do that then.
All right. Heather is saying Rani looks very angelic with the sunlight shining. And there was one point where you definitely had a complete halo around you as you were talking.
Oh, really?
Cool.
It's interesting. On this side of me, I've got the river and the sun shining. and right in front of me, there's black clouds.
Oh, yeah,
So
you definitely have.
I suspect there'll be a rainbow in the sky soon.
That's so cool. Very cool. Someone there, I saw two people ask about measuring the electric charge. So we talked about the pH and we talked about the oxygen. Is there a way to measure the electrical
There
charge?
is. There is a way. There are bioresonance machines that I don't know what the costs are, but you can contact a therapist who has a bioresonance machine and they could measure your cellular charge for you.
Oh,
Definitely.
very cool. And so I think that's all the questions that I saw quickly. But so the energy enhancement system is a physical place, a place that you go and you get surrounded by it. And so your energy amplification EA has
Yeah.
created all energetically so
It's
that you kind of put
it's all created energetically in the quantum field.
okay.
So basically, and I'm just going to refer to, I'm just going to read out a few extras that I've added to the energy amplification system. So it's creating everything the energy enhancement system is creating, which is basically the right cellular charge for your cells, the correct pH, and oxygenation, etc. It's using scalar waves are basically waves that are in the quantum field. We can't see them, we can't feel them. So basically, what I've done with the energy amplification system is to create an environment with that healing container that keeps you in balance 24/7. Now, remember this, that depending on where we live, what environment we have in our house, what food intake we have, what's going on outside in our external environment, there are going to be many disruptors on a daily basis to your toroidal field. Yeah, that comes from electrical equipment, Wi-Fi, 5G, and, I don't know, electricity pylons above you. So there are many, many disruptors around us, and some are affected by those disruptors more than others. So having this energy enhancement, the amplification around you 24/7 is going to only help in bringing about a positive change.
Yeah, very cool. So like I said, when I described Ronnie earlier, she is the queen of healing containers. She's given us body sculpting, she's given us facelift, she's given us med beds, like you've given us a lot of really powerful healing containers. And so what she's done now is she has um put the energy enhancement system into a healing container. So it's all done remotely. Plus you've added other items to it
I
as
have.
worked through it. So tell me a little bit about, because people have been using this, tell me a little bit about stories of what's happened for people as they've been surrounded in this healing container.
Okay, so let me just find just bear with me. So just a couple of testimonials. So a very good friend of mine, actually, she lives over there in the States, Katie, has been so impressed with this particular energy amplification container. Her Basically, her comments to me were, "Oh gosh, Rani, you're amazing. You're blessing humanity, and I hope you share this with the world." Now, Katie herself went to visit an energy enhancement system close to where she lives in the States. And her comments there were that the place was extremely comfortable. She chose to sit in one of the recliner beds and put on her eye shields and just relax to block out the light. And her experience of being in that environment was, she was there for a 2-hour appointment. And she didn't know where the time went. During the actual session, she started to feel a stillness come over her. Her arms started to feel heavy. She could feel that she was in her body, but her body wasn't able to move. And she just laid there in perfect stillness. And before she knew it, the session was over, and a little nudge was waking her up to say time up. So she enjoyed that experience very much. But the session came to an end. So I think in the States, the sessions are about $60 per hour. You'd have to double check that, but you can go on a web search and find out. So, you know, I would encourage people, if they get an opportunity to go and experience it in person as well. I certainly would like to. I haven't found one near me yet. Another person.
Right?
Sorry?
It's an hour a
I
session.
believe so. Yeah, $60 an hour. Yeah,
So with what you've created with the healing container, it's 24/7 for whatever duration, whether it's 6 months, a year,
exactly.
lifetime. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Clear. Yeah.
So another individual says she felt the radiance of being in the light of wholeness at the end of each of her sessions. She was also using the MP3 that comes with this package, and she just felt that the healing container helped her move beyond the three-dimensional aspect of healing. Another lady says her periods are now really smooth, much shorter, and without pain. She feels more calm, more confident, and more communicative. Her low back pain has gone. She's pain-free. So, you know, just to point out that I didn't give any parameters when I did the beta program. I just gave it freely to the people that were in the program and said, doesn't matter what your issues are, just try this and let me have your feedback. Another lady says that her relationship with her husband, after 16 years, she felt this dramatic improvement in her relationship with her husband.
Oh,
She felt much calmer when faced with extremes of emotion or extreme situations. She was able to think more clearly and positively. And that's in comparison to her old self of being in doom and gloom. She feels more present in her body, more grounded. And she's also noted that the skin on her face is absorbing more moisture. It doesn't feel dry like sandpaper anymore. So people have had very interesting results across all of their issues. It's not always been a physical issue that they've had results with. So what I would say, and what I did, was create an MP3 with this program. So you don't have to use it, but if you chose to use it, you could actually focus on specific issues that you want to work on as an added extra. And I'm going to also teach a little bit about this when we do the mini healings and the group process as well.
well, let's do that. Let's dive in and see how all of this works in real time. If you want to start working with people, I can start unmuting them.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So first up is Carmen. Carmen, you can unmute yourself now.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Carmen. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? I'm
I'm really
really blessed to be
So
there.
let me focus you a little bit. So
Mm.
tell me, without having to think too hard about it, tell me, what is your uppermost health issue or life issue that you'd like to work on?
Um, I am like releasing back pain. I think that I was in a fear wave that I am clearing out, but I suppose a weight release of from emotional and
Okay.
stomach issues, I think.
Pick one of those. You've mentioned back pain.
Yes.
Okay. And weight release. So which one of those two would you like to work on?
Weight release.
Weight release. Okay.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that you will not lose any weight during this one session
Yeah.
over the next couple of minutes, but certainly we're going to work at the root of the weight release. So Now give me 3 negative emotions that you experience when you think about your weight.
Can we switch it to back pain? Sorry.
Okay, so is it upper, middle, or low back pain?
It's lower. Yes.
Low back pain. Okay.
Yes.
And what are the 3 main negative emotions that you associate with that back pain?
Fear, not feeling supported, and scared of the next step.
Okay. And of those 3 emotions, so you've got fear, not feeling supported, and scared of the next step. Of those 3, which one feeds the other 2?
The next step.
Next step. So fear of the next step is feeding the other 2 emotions.
Yes.
You say? Okay. So fear of the next step. So if you just close your eyes, sorry, are you sitting down? Are you not driving?
Yes.
Okay.
No. My back
Okay.
hurts a lot.
So if you just close your eyes for me, okay, and focus on your spine.
Yes.
Okay. And whilst focusing on your spine, just tell me, where do you feel this fear of taking the next step? Where in your body do you feel it?
Like the spine, like the lower, almost to the coccyx, like in over on top of the coccyx.
Okay, so you're feeling it right in the base. So there's a block of energy there that's not allowing your energy to flow up through your spine. So what I'd like to do now is as I'm talking, I want you to just allow a laser point. Can you imagine what a laser looks like? Yeah, a pinpoint laser. Just imagine it shooting from your coccyx up through your crowns, all the way up your spine and up out through your crown. Just imagine it doing that as I work on you. So I'm going to work on your coccyx now, and we're going to disentangle that emotion of fear of taking the next step. We're just going to disentangle that from where it's residing at the moment, and we're just going to release it and let it go through, out, and transmute it into light. And just allow that to flow. Keep that laser going up your spine, from the coccyx up through the spine, just letting it go. And just feel that release. Now take a deep breath, and I'm now going to reintegrate your system. And you're now aligned with wholeness and the light. Okay, open your eyes. Tell me how you're feeling.
I feel like things moving even to my neck, like fixed, like a puzzle clicking the spine in the right position.
Okay, when we do the group process, keep your focus on this, and it will continue to move for you.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Good job, Carmen. Thank you. People are asking, when you work on somebody else, are they able to also tap into that energy and
Yes.
receive? Okay, awesome. So
Absolutely.
as with people, guys, just make sure you know, if it resonates with you, follow what Ronnie's saying. All right. Next up, Margot. I don't know if I said your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. You should be able to.
It's Margot.
Margot.
Hello,
Awesome.
Margot.
Hi, nice to see you both.
Hi.
I have 2 issues that are bothering me and progressing which I feel like is possibly due to an anti-cancer medication, but I don't really know what the cause of it is. I'm
So-
getting more and more fatigued day by day, and I've been on this medication for a couple of years,
Mhm.
and my joints and my fingers are extremely painful, and I'm have trigger finger.
Mhm.
I feel like they could both be side effects of the medication, but I don't know whether it's my liver. I don't know what's causing it, but it's really affecting my life.
Okay, so pick one that you would like to work on.
Oh, let's go with the fatigue.
With the fatigue. Okay, so how does, okay, before we go into the fatigue, give me the three main emotions, negative emotions that are associated with the fatigue. How does it make you feel?
Self-judgment.
Mhm.
I just criticize myself constantly as not trying hard enough, although I'm so tired I don't have the energy to try.
Yeah.
I can't think of a third one.
Okay, it's okay. And which one of those two feeds the other? So you've got self-criticism and self-judgment.
I guess the criticism feeds the judgment.
Okay, okay. So if you could change, if you could transform those two emotions, what would you like to be feeling?
Light and energetic.
Light and
Happy.
energy. Okay, okay. So what we're going to work on is both of those emotions to transform them, okay?
Perfect.
All right. So what I'd like you to, you're not driving? Are you sitting down?
No, I'm
Okay.
sitting.
Okay, so just close your eyes and just relax. Take a deep breath and just put your focus on your spine. And if you can imagine that toroidal field that I showed the illustration of, imagine your toroid, your torus, flowing in complete balance around you in all directions. You're sitting in the center of that torus in your still point, which is the God energy. Okay, and just imagine or visualize that torus is just made up of pure light, and it's moving with no beginning and no end through your system. And it's creating the perfect environment for the fatigue to just evaporate. And as the torus flows through you, it's feeding new energy into your system to revitalize your cells. The electrical charge in your cells is increasing, which in turn gives you more energy and vitality. And I want you to just allow that torus to flow through you like this constantly. Just give it the intention and command to keep flowing like this intentionally. And I want to leave that there with you, Margot, because I don't want to stop that flow. So my gift to you is that that is going to flow constantly through you like this, 24/7, for as long as you need it to.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, it feels like there's a huge weighted blanket lifted off of my brain and I'm crying. Thank you.
Let it continue. It's not going to stop. It's going to continue for as long as you need it.
Awesome.
All right. And just keep calling it in. You can do
Okay.
that. Remember
I can.
this. Remember this. Whatever your expectation is what's going to manifest for you. So have the most outrageous expectation, please. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Margot, you sound so much lighter.
Yes, it's been weighing on me for and getting worse and worse month by month, and I'm just hoping and hoping that this is really going to shift. Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Good job, Margot. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow, that was powerful. How's everybody else feeling? Anybody else feel it? I know personally, had lots of fatigue today. I was feeling very blah. So this has been fabulous. I feel much more lighter. Everything is much more brighter, even though it's very cloudy and dreary here. It's much brighter. So thank you for that. I would love to hear how everybody else is doing too. Let us know. Type in. I see hearts flying. So I love that. Good job. Yes, Krista says yes. I feel the heaviness lifted too. Yeah, I think that's what I feel too. Is that heaviness is definitely lifted. So thank you for that.
You guys are going to love the group process then.
Awesome. Well done, Margot. Lorraine says, feeling a bit lighter, light and airy. Thank you, Ronnie. Liz is asking how to keep calling it in. I think this is important because this is so the container that you just gave to each of us is a small part of the whole EA system, right?
Correct.
So within the EA system, I'm so glad you brought this up because this is a small part that we can keep calling in. If you could share with us how to keep calling in, and B, also with these containers that Ronnie creates, we're supposed to be communicating with it, right? Like we could talk to it, we could tell it what we need, what we're looking for. Each day is different. So if you can explain a little bit about that, I think that will be really beneficial.
Yeah. So the healing container is specific to each individual that uses it because none of us are the same and we all have different needs. We all have different issues. So the container has been set up to create that perfect environment to take you to still point, to 0 point. It's been set up to ensure that the right electrical charge is being delivered to all your cells, that your pH is being adjusted accordingly, that you've got good oxygenation. So those are the 3 key things. It's also creating that toroidal field in perfect balance. The toroidal field is basically, if you can just, or you can even look them up again on the internet for a picture if it's difficult for you to visualize, just imagine that toroidal field flowing through you continuously, almost like your car. You're getting into it and you're driving everywhere in your toroidal field. That's a really good way of visualizing it. And just imagine or call in as much light frequency as you can for your needs. And it's just that intention, just the way I'm talking now. My intention is to call in this frequency to give me the optimum conditions for my healing to take place. And everything that you intend will come to you. It really will.
Good, right? Like, so like if you're working with this energy and you're like, this isn't going to work for me, this doesn't work for me, nothing ever works for me, then you get more of that, I'm assuming.
You'll
right?
get more of that. Exactly that. You'll get more of that.
So amplifies whatever it is. And I think, so Ronnie and I had this discussion before the call. It's not that you have to believe, right?
Right.
But if you believe that it's not going to work, then it won't. But you don't have to, it's being open. So even when we're going through this day, when we're going through and Ronnie's working with people and she does the group process, be open to receive. Open yourself up and for whatever's possible, right? It's for possibilities, basically. It's
correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another thing I want to say, if you decide to work with this program, this popped when you were talking about it, popped into me. What really helps me when I'm working through a program like this is to keep a journal and like notice like changes each day, like things that are shifting, how you're feeling, like just all of those. For two reasons. One, because when you look back through it, you're like, holy crap, look at all that's changed. And two, sometimes we don't know what's going on, like because we're so busy with life and things that are happening around us, we just kind of go through the motions. So without having that moment to sit and notice what's going on and what's present for us, we don't even know what to ask, whatever it is that we're working with. Like, so we don't know what to say to have the healing container help us with, because we're so far out that we aren't paying attention.
And if you're on the go and don't have time to journal, a really quick question you can ask yourself is, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is brilliant and 1 is really bad, where am I today? You know, and then after the process, or after you've kind of done a little bit of work on yourself or been aware of your healing container working for you, ask yourself at the end of the day, how do I feel now? You know, has there been a change? Did it change throughout the day? What was happening when the changes were happening, you know? And it'll
Very,
help you to decipher what triggers you and what doesn't.
I love that. And it's so fast. That's so fast. I love that. Margot, so I see your comment here, and Margot says, yes, Gretchen, I have always believed that energy healing can work for everyone else, but not for me. I am not worthy. How are you feeling now, Margot, after the experience you just had? Because, you know, the one thing Ronnie really worked with was, you know, self-judgment and criticism, right? Which goes right along with the I'm not worthy. So if you could type in and let me know how you're feeling, because you had a huge shift right there. So I would love to know what your thoughts are now with that. So beautiful, beautiful stuff. Thank you, Ronnie. Let's you are worthy, Meredith says, Margot. So very cool. And I think she's still feeling awesome. She's shaking. Very good, Margot. And I think that this is such an important thing that you just wrote, Meredith, is you are worthy. And I think, and I'm getting chills as I'm just thinking about this for myself, what I all would like everyone to do is just to kind of take a moment and breathe that in, that you really are worthy. And because I think that you're not alone in feeling that, Margot. So just take a minute and feel that, because that's pretty powerful. So
Yeah, and remember that whatever you vocalize or think about, whatever you tell yourself, that's exactly what your brain's going to manifest for you, because it doesn't know the difference between positive and negative, good or bad.
yeah, that's exactly
So
right.
it'll just give you more of what you tell it.
It's always working, right? Aw, Deb says, one of my cats, who is generally standoffish and keeps his distance, has been climbing all over me since we began the session. First time hanging on me in 12 years.
Wow.
That's amazing. That is so cool. Really, really cool. Awesome. All right. So let's talk to our next caller, who is Alina. Alina, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Hello, Alina.
Hello, can you hear me?
I
We
can
can.
hear you.
Great, how are you?
Good, thank you. How can we help?
I was thinking about what I'd say if I get called on, so thank you. And I feel like I have some blocks in, I guess, authentically experiencing myself. Just I'm coming through a lot of shifts and removing a lot of layers, but it's hard to kind of let everything blossom. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
So can you pinpoint that into like one main issue?
one main issue, I guess, still kind of living with fears.
Living with fears.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like a
And
fearful lens.
sorry, I didn't catch that. Say that again.
Sorry, and like seeing the world through more like a fearful lens.
Okay. Okay. So is it a fear of the future, fear of next steps, or fear in the present, past?
Uh, fear of some newness, I guess, or just you
Fear of the
know,
unknown?
I guess so. Yes.
Fear of the unknown. And can you think of the top 3 emotions that are feeding that fear?
Um, I guess there would be confusion in the like reading my own intuition about things.
Mhm.
Kind of lack of control,
Okay.
and also kind of a fear of fully surrendering.
Okay. And where in your body do you feel the fear?
I feel when I'm talking about it, it's right in my heart, like it's kind of racing a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit of
Okay.
anxiety, I suppose.
Okay. And do you feel out of control when you're amongst others?
I can. I guess maybe I could focus more on being grounded. But yeah, I need to be social, but then retreat a bit. It kind of have that wave ebb and flow between social and introverted time.
And are there trust issues involved in this?
If there are, I would take responsibility for them, maybe like trust issues with myself. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm not, yeah.
Is that where the fear, do you think this fear is stemming from not trusting your own intuition, your own judgments?
I guess so. Yeah, that would probably be a good source of that.
Okay. So is there a lack of confidence in the self here?
There can be, yes, definitely.
Okay. And can you give me a recent example of how all this manifested for yourself? Do you have a real life example?
Um, I guess I don't want to be too specific, but just over analyzing things afterwards, and after like a social event, let's say.
Okay. So you go through an event, you go through an experience, and then when you come out of that experience, you are over analyzing and then misjudging yourself, and then you have a fear of the future. Is that, in a nutshell, is that it?
Yeah, those are kind of the major
Okay.
steps. Yeah.
And is this kind of like a repetitive cycle for you?
I'm noticing it is just bringing more self-awareness to myself and noticing patterns that I'm noticing this is kind of what's surfacing now to be looked at, I guess, or recognized.
And if you could, what would you like to transform your current situation into? So at the moment, you're self-critical, you overanalyze, and you don't have as much confidence in yourself. So how would you like to be?
That sounds like a great classified, by the way. Definitely just feeling more safe in myself or more grounded with myself.
Okay. And if you were safer with yourself and more grounded, how would you be? How would you present yourself, do you think?
I feel like I would just be able to be more present and accepting of all of life, that was happening amongst me, not putting things in different hierarchies, as in like negative emotions, positive, just experiencing it without maybe with my mind a little more to the side about it.
So do you have a picture of yourself as that new you in your mind?
I could see a little bit. Yeah, I could definitely be something I could develop for sure.
Okay. So, okay, are you sitting down?
I am, yes.
Okay, so close your eyes. Okay, and I want you to sit down in the midst of that toroidal field that we've been discussing. Imagine that field is full of all the colors of the rainbow. So every chakra system is represented in that field, and you're right in the middle of it. And what I'd like you to do is disentangle yourself from the present you that you've just described to me. Disentangle, completely disentangle, and step away. Allow that disentangled self to just walk away into the distance and evaporate. And I want you to bring your intention and focus into the new you that you caught a glimpse of. See yourself in color with your toroidal field amplifying around you so that it stretches for 2 miles and now 4 miles around you, to either side of you, behind you, above you, below you, in front of you. And see yourself as the new you, growing brighter and brighter, becoming more solid and present. Exuding confidence and vitality, self-assuredness. You're holding your head high. And you're smiling with joy. Hold that image of yourself and allow your toroidal field to accompany you everywhere you go. Just give it permission. And before any event, outing, or experience, if you feel any trepidation, just remind yourself of this session and walk with your head tall. Okay,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
you're welcome.
How you feeling?
A lot more like in a stillness. So what Ronnie was describing with the stillness of that outer shell, and yeah, I'm having that more calm feeling.
Yeah,
More
me too.
like at the bottom of the ocean, looking up at all the turbulence, but still at that still space.
Ah, and so can you call onto this space? Can you remember this feeling and call it in when you need it?
I would absolutely love to. Yeah, what a great thing. Thank you for the generosity. Absolutely.
Awesome. Good job. Thanks for joining. You helped a lot of people. A lot of people resonated with this. So thank you.
Ooh, thank you.
Awesome. Ooh, all right. Lots of comments coming in. Very, very, very good stuff. Love this. And I have said this 100 times and I'll say it again today. When we work as a group, as a collective, there's no accident in who's called to work with whoever, whoever the healer is. And there was no accident in those of you that were called today to really help us, because we all are on a journey, right? We're all on a journey called life. And so this really helps us all. So thank you, Ronnie. And for those of you that have been called on today, because this is really powerful stuff. I see people asking about the offer. So let's talk about this program, the EA program, and go into that. I'm going to post the link here. It's lifereawakened.com/Ronnie24. Again, lifereawakened.com/Ronnie24. You can, the link is up above our images here, so you should be able to see it there, as well as you can click on it on the chat and go to that. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can all see it as Ronnie takes us through this beautiful program, Energy Amplification. Amplify your vitality and step through the door towards optimal health and harmony today. So there are 3 options with this. So let's go down here. You guys can work through this. You can look at some of these impacts. The first day I had tremendous energy, like I was 30 years old and I'm 77. Even friends say I seem younger. I'm so impressed with this healing container. Someone else says you are a blessing to humanity and I hope you share it with the world. Someone else said I went from a 2 to a 10 in all categories. This program helps with sleep, weight loss, balance emotions, moves me into divine flow, is the best program that I've received. So you guys can take a look at that. as well as Let's Talk. There are 3 options, Ronnie, right? Package A, B, and C. Package A is 6 months. So let's start there. What happens during this time in 6 months of receiving the EA container?
So for 6 months, you will receive the healing 24/7. So even while you're asleep. So go to sleep with good intentions. And in addition, each package will also receive a MP3 bonus, which basically helps to align your physical body with the light of wholeness. So all of this, we're talking about light energy in every form. And then, you know, on a daily basis, if you want to use that MP3, once you've learned the process in the MP3, it literally takes like a minute or 2. And so you can practice that several times in a day if you want to, depending on what you're facing in your daily activities, that you can use that as often as you like. You can't really overdose on it it's at all. And with the actual package of the energy amplification system, whether you actively use it or just allow it to do its work, it's going to be working for you in the background. The
Awesome.
only thing I would remind everybody of is that, you know, please check your thoughts and intentions as often as you can, because I mean, and I'm guilty of this myself. I can send myself into a downer very, very quickly if I lose my focus. And, you know, sometimes a friend will remind me, say, what was that about your energy container that you said you could do? Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm very good at giving advice to others, but don't always take it myself. And sometimes I need a bit of reminding as well. So we do need to be, what's the word? Mindful of our thoughts and intentions, our expectations, in order to receive the best that we can for ourselves.
Awesome. I love that. Because I think it is so important to that reminder of, you know, this is working for you in the background, whether you remember that it is or not, because 6 months, you know, a lot comes up during that time. But you know, just know that you can tap into this during that time. As often as you want during the day. And that's why I did recommend, you know, having some kind of a journal or something so that you can remember, you know, you can see where you've started and where you end up, as well as what you need to work on, you know, what's coming up for you that day. And just being like Ronnie said, being aware, being conscious, and knowing what's kind of going on for you each and every day. So you can choose from 6 months in package A. Package B is a year. So
Correct.
you can have this run for you for a year. And package C is lifetime. So it's for your lifetime. She will act. So talk to us a little bit, Ronnie, like what happens? You activate the healing container. You set it in motion. Is that right?
I set it in motion once I receive a notification from yourselves. And then that's it. It's on the go.
Yeah.
So it'll be activated for 6 months, 1 year, or for your whole lifetime.
And I can't tell you, here's a breakdown of all 3 packages. I can't tell you how many times, like I said, I've dubbed Ronnie, whether she wants it or not, the queen of healing containers, because this is her specialty. This is what she is passionate about, and where results really pour in from people that she's works with. And I can't tell you how many times people start at the 6-month level and they're like, okay, I want more, like, because the results that they're getting. So they ask to bump up to get a year after that. And then even that, I just saw somebody recently asked to bump it up to lifetime for one of your programs. I don't remember which one, but that's the power of these healing containers. So you have those 3 options to choose from if this resonates from you. And there's more stories here that you can look at from what's happened with Ronnie's clients with the healing containers that they've used. So there you go. And it starts the moment as soon as you get notification, you activate it, and
I
it's
do. I do.
so
Within
yeah.
within 24 hours of receiving your notification, the system will be activated for the individual.
Awesome. Yes. So this is a remote, it's basically Melody remote healing. It's a remote healing container that she puts you in. And the part that I love about this is the communication piece. Like it runs in the background, but you also can take control and you can talk with the container and let it know, like this is where I need to focus, this is what's going on, and in that MP3 is where you give the directions on how to use that, right? How to do that.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, so talk to us why you did start with 60 days instead of 30 days why it's a 60-day option or a 6-month option rather than just a month.
Well, for any change to take place, if you're just looking at sort of orthodox healing, any change to take place with medications normally takes about 12 weeks. A wound takes a good 12 weeks to heal. The outer wound might close, but the laying down of type 1 and type 2 collagen for full wound healing to take place is more than 12 weeks actually. But generally, if you're going to change any kind of habit, it's a minimum of 12 weeks to get things going along the right lines, putting you on the correct path. And 6 months will consolidate that habit for you. So even if you only do this for 6 months, by the end of that 6 months, you should have enough determination and self motivation to be able to continue to use some of the things that you've learned along your journey. Invariably, people do come back for a year. Had several clients that have come back after 6 months and then gone for the year option. And yes, some do go on to lifetime as well. But it's really about, because nothing, if you say to me, okay, let's just do this for a week, maybe a month, that in my experience is not enough time for change to take place. That's like from my perspective, that's like putting a Band-Aid over a wound and then just seeing a superficial healing take place. What's going on underneath at the root is what we need to be working on. And sometimes, some people get there faster than others, but I think 6 months is a good time span to allow that to happen.
I couldn't agree more. And the other part of this is it's running 24/7. We talked earlier about the energy enhancement system. If you would go get a 1-hour session, on average, they're around $60. So imagine the difference of, if you break up 6 months into the introductory price, which is $197, it really makes it very affordable. So you're getting it 24/7 for 6 months. So it's pretty cool stuff. So thank you for bringing that to us. Really, really appreciate it. So I know you have a group process for us. So I would love to go through that. I'm going to take myself off video so everybody can focus on you.
Okay. So I hope everybody's either sitting down or lying down. Please don't do this if you're driving or operating any type of machinery. Please come back and listen to the replay. So for this group process, we're going to create a cosmic sandwich. And this is going to take you to that still point, the 0 point that we've been talking about on this show. So what I'd like you all to do is just close your eyes. Just take a couple of deep breaths in and out and allow yourself to relax. Picture yourself sitting in the center of your torus, your toroidal field. And that toroidal field is emanating every color of light that you need as an individual to reach your still point. And before you know it, you're already there in your still point. And you can feel it. Some people can, some can't. Your still point can be anywhere in your body or around you. There's no one destination, but wherever you feel it, it's correct for you. Now, if any emotions, negative emotions or thoughts cross your mind, just let them check in and I'll check them out for you. Don't dwell on any thoughts, just allow them in and allow them out. And as I connect in with all of you, I'll call out any negative emotions that cross my mind that may be affecting you in this group. So the first emotion that is coming to mind is sadness. So whoever's feeling sadness, I disentangle you from that and check it out. Shame. Disentangling you from shame and checking it out now. Jealousy. Disentangling you from jealousy and checking it out now. Self-doubt. Disentangling you from self-doubt and checking it out now. Frustration. Disentangling you from frustration and checking it out now. Envy. Despair. Guilt. Grief. Betrayal. Depression. Bitterness. Outrage. Agitation. Confusion. Disgust. Disentangling you from all these negative emotions and checking them out now. Imagine as you sit there in your still point, that your creator is within you, taking on the whole shape of your body. Your creator is inside you, taking on the shape of your body. Your creator is also around you, taking on the shape of your body from the outside. So you are sandwiched in between your creator. And as you sit there in your torus, your creator is flooding you with pure healing light energies. Blasting all that is not required out of your system. Creating the perfect environment for you to flourish in. You've been disentangled from all dis-ease, disentangled from all pain and suffering, disentangled from all blocks. And your creator is holding you in a cocoon, filling you with light And you can stay within this sandwich with your creator 24/7. You don't have to come out of this container. You are now reintegrated into wholeness. Take a deep breath in and come back to yourself when you're ready.
Oh, thank you so much. Ooh, that was powerful. Yeah. I love the disentangling process. I can barely speak.
It's, again, it's a very simple tool to use. You don't have to go through a meditation to do it, but each time you experience something that you don't like, in that moment, just give out these two commands: disentangle and reintegrate with wholeness.
Hmm.
Simple.
Love it. Love, love, love. Lots of comments coming in. Alina says, thank you. Wow. Amy says, incredible. Debbie says, thank you for this opportunity today. Meredith says, thank you. Heather says, thank you, Ronnie. That was so beautiful. Cindy says, thank you. So powerful. Vladimira says, thank you. Christina says, thank you. Laura says, nice. So amazing. Thank you. So very much appreciated. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys. This is great. Very deep. Linda says, awesome. One question here I did see come through. Let me find it. Oh, Deb is asking, do the healing containers address things like past life and ancestral issues that could be contributed?
Yes. So if you remember at the beginning, I talked about that outer layer, the causal body.
Yes.
Yeah, the etheric layer. So that basically reflects everything that your soul has undergone, and it links you to the divine.
Got it.
Yeah. So it will address everything. So as something from your ancestral past seeps through that causal layer and starts to interrupt the other layers, you're going to start feeling the effects of whatever is affecting you. So the toroidal field, the torus, if we can use the healing container to continually keep your torus in balance, it's going to heal those roots and make your life easier.
Awesome. Someone is asking about, could this help with their children with autism?
I'm not sure how the child would use the container. We can certainly set it up specifically for that child to address their autism without a doubt. I don't know what the issues are, because autism is such a broad spectrum disorder. It would really depend on the severity of the autism. I haven't tested it on anybody with autism, but what I can say is that the Energy Enhancement System has been used by children with autism, and they've had fantastic results. So based on those results, I would say yes.
Very good. Thank you. Margot says, so happy I've created this space. This has been a fabulous session. Heather says, this is such a wonderful, enriching call. Awesome. Very good. Alice says, your healing was so very powerful and profound. The explanation so very clear, explaining the causal body and the toroidal field. Love it. So I did see somebody asking for more information, more light on the Kundalini. I think you were going to explain that a little bit, and I'm not sure.
So each of the mini sessions we did, we've focused on our spinal column. We've also sat in a balanced toroidal field. Our spinal column is the aspect through which the Kundalini energy rises up. So from the coccyx, although it's not in the coccyx, from that region up through the crown. So the Kundalini energy, once it's flowing freely up and down the column, it helps your system to become balanced. Who were we working with who had a block in her coccyx? She had low back pain. I think it was the first caller. So I was releasing that block that was blocking her Kundalini from moving. And she felt that change. So the toroid is balancing the whole environment. The causal body is where the Kundalini rises from the base of the spine up through the crown. So I don't know if I'm explaining this. So by keeping that toroidal balance, everything else is going to flow freely, because it's going to not just allow the Kundalini to flow freely, but it's balancing all of the chakra system, because the toroid is working on all 7 bodies, all 7 energy bodies. The other thing that I forgot to mention, which I will mention here, is that when we're working with a balanced toroid, we're experiencing really good health. And when it's off balance, for it doesn't matter what the disruption is, whether it's an internal disruption or external disruption, we start to go towards the road of ill health. When we're in complete balance, and you see this a lot with women who spend a lot of time together with each other, they will sync to their menstrual cycles will synchronize, right? So this is an example of how our toroid will affect us and each other. So you could walk into an environment where everybody's energy is low, and as soon as you walk in, it hits you. Before you've stepped through the entrance, you can feel the energy, can't you? Yeah. You're sensing the low energy of the toroidal environment in that room. Equally, you could be feeling really, really low, and a young toddler just runs into the room full of laughter and glee, and immediately will lift your vibrations. I mean, these are little real life examples of how we affect each other, and how our thoughts, feelings, and emotions affect not just us, but the people around us. So this is where we need to really kind of like think about this. And we're driving in this toroid. Think of it as your car or your ship. I don't know, whatever feels right to you, but think of getting in that every day and driving it in complete balance. The more your mind is on focusing a positive environment around yourself, the better your day's going to become, and your health and your well-being.
Love it.
I'm not sure if I answered the question or digressed, but
that was good. Very good. It was Carmen that you worked with at the beginning. She was the first one, and she actually wrote in and said she purchased, and her back is completely different and releasing so much. So thank you for that feedback, Carmen. That's
very
amazing.
good.
And look how quickly that was. So we're talking 6 months, right? Like this was like 45 minutes maybe since we worked with you, Carmen. So that's really cool. Pamela's asking, if the container were purchased for someone else, would we need their knowledge and permission to activate it? Good question.
Well, I can activate it for whoever it's purchased for. Would you be giving them the MP3 to use as well, or not? If you don't want to be, I would not advise anybody to take on the healing journey of another. So we can activate it for somebody else without their knowledge, and it will work for them. but I would not activate it. So for example, if Gretchen, you purchased it for your son and you were going to do the work for your son, I would advise against that, because you do not want to take on their journey.
That makes
We all
sense.
have our own karmic path to walk, and we don't want to be doing it for somebody else in that respect. But yes, without their knowledge, we can activate it for them. That's not a problem. But please don't work on them.
That makes sense. So, Pamela, if you are buying it or anybody else is buying this for somebody else, I think the best way to do that, I don't know if checkout, you can add that. That might be there if it's for somebody else. If not, shortly after you purchase, I would email support and let them know with your order number that that you have purchased this for somebody else for sure. So, another question, and I'm just completely throwing this out there. Rani, is there a way that we could add an add-on if somebody wants to, add on a love, so they buy the package for themselves for 6 months, that they want to add on a loved one for, at an additional fee? Can we do that as well? So, a lot of times we do that. It's like, they buy a program and there's remote healing and they want to add a loved one to that package for $97 or something like that. Would you be open to us adding that like that?
Yes, we can do that.
All right, cool. So we'll do that as well. Those of you that already bought, we'll make sure you get an email if you want to just add on somebody else, that you can do that as well. So, all right, I think that's all I have. The feedback on this call is absolutely amazing, Rani. We've learned so much, we've healed so much, so much has happened in a short amount of time. So, and it's just beautiful seeing you. I feel so much more connected to you now, and I just absolutely
me too.
can see you and share this space with you today.
So the take homes for everybody listening, either now or on the replay: cosmic sandwich. It should immediately put a picture in your mind.
Yes.
Okay. Stay in your Taurus and be mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Yes.
Those are the 3 takeaways.
And disentangle.
Disentangle and reintegrate. Absolutely.
Love that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at the cards
These are
tonight.
really, really simple, but extremely powerful tools. Please use them and let me know how you get on.
Awesome. Very, very good. This was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for the value you gave.
Thank you.
Rani. Really, really appreciate you.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for being here for our officially first the Life Reawakened show upgraded. So really, really, really appreciate all of you and having you here and sharing this space with us. We couldn't do this without all of you. So thank you for being a part of our community. Really, really appreciate you all. Thank you again, Rani, and we'll be talking
Thanks,
to you.
Gretchen.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Great week.
Bye. Bye-bye.